Today on Silver Forever, we talk about my predictions for the prices of silver, gold, and the fiat dollar in 2022 and what my plan is moving forward. Everyone thinks that they know where the price of silver and gold are going to go, and everyone is wrong. Now, when you listen to all the YouTubers and when you go to Reddit, you always see the same thing. The price of silver is going up. But what if the price of silver was going to go down? Now, I'm a contrarian, so I'm really reticent to believe whatever the group thinks. But here's the tricky part. I just watched a video by a guy named Stormy who knows a guy who knew a guy who said, well, maybe you should actually do the opposite of what all of the talking heads are thinking. If everybody else thinks that the price of silver is going up, play it as if it's going down. But then I got to thinking, well, this guy's a talking head. Should I do the opposite of what he's saying? What does it really mean to do the opposite of the opposite? Is anybody else following me? Because I'm not following me.
Does not compute.
Okay, so if everybody thinks that the price of silver is actually going to go up, well, then it's probably going to go down. But the thing is, that's what they want you to think. It's like up is down and down is up. What you guys are witnessing right now is a full-blown mental break. Listen, I've crunched the numbers and I know what the future holds for the price of silver and of gold. My prediction is that the price of silver will go up and then it will go down. Silver is either going to be worth $5 per ounce or $500 per ounce by the end of 2022.
The silver price is gonna go up and it's gonna go down. Let's explore.
Hold on for a second, because I am about to rock your world. Do you want to sit on your ass and make $1 million a day? Hear me out. Everybody is talking about gold-backed cryptocurrencies. Cryptos backed by precious metals. No, I have an even better idea. I am introducing gold backed by cryptocurrency. We will be having an IGO, that's an initial gold offering for our new crypto backed gold product. Man, in my world, the silver always goes up because I just keep on stacking, bro. Just keep on stacking. Whoops. Now, in all seriousness, folks, the truth is I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen in 2022, but I do know what's going to happen in the future, whether that's within the next year or the next 5 years or the next 10 years. What's going to happen is this is going to lose all of its value. This is going to accrue in value over time. And even if I'm losing money on the conversion because of premiums, or even if I'm losing money hypothetically on a drop or reduction in the silver or gold price, which of course I'm not because I'm not realizing those losses yet, well, it's always been a long-term play for me. And anybody, in my opinion, who is looking into getting into gold or silver, it should absolutely be a long-term play. It's clearly not the best short-term play in terms of potential upside. I mean, just consider the costs of getting into or out of silver. The premium, the spread between the buy and the sell price alone, the cost of actually acquiring it physically, none of these things are done in the interest of short-term gains. And if they are, then what are you doing? So if I don't think the price of silver is going to change until the economic crisis, I guess the real question is, when's the economic crisis? And the answer is, I don't know. I don't care. At least not as it pertains to silver and gold. I'm going to keep stacking while the price is low. And you might say, well, how can you gauge whether the price is low? What do you know about it? You're not a financial advisor. And I'd say, well, that's the first thing you're right about. One pretty solid way that I've determined that the price of silver is still relatively low, and certainly lower than it's going to be towards the end of my lifetime in retirement when I might actually be cashing in this stuff, it is significantly lower than the nominal price of its all-time high, let alone the real value of its all-time high if you were going to convert that former price into modern American US dollars, which have obviously lost value. Also, look at any commodity's price since 1980, and you tell me how many of them have gone up or how many of them have gone down. I know silver isn't fashionable, I know gold is more fashionable, and I have every intention of continuing to stack gold and silver in similar ratios. Now, when the economic crisis does occur, what I fully expect to happen is that in the very, very short term, you might see a sell-off of some silver and gold assets, or at least paper, silver and gold, in order to generate a little bit more cash or facilitate more liquidity from the big players in the market. Then I think that you'll see kind of a fairly steep rise over time in the price of gold and then silver. And I think at that point, we're going to finally exceed the $30 mark for the spot price of an ounce of silver. And then if I had to guess, I would think that that's going to be the new bottom. But I really don't know. I don't even like to talk about it. Obviously, the price of silver is hugely important. I mean, it's a massive component of how to stack silver, let alone the reasons why people stack in the first place. But for me, stacking silver goes a lot deeper than that. I look at this as a way that I can be ideologically whole, that I can be satisfied with the way I choose to be involved in the financial marketplace. I am fully diversified, and that includes into fiat. I have little to no confidence in the future value of this fiat currency, but at the same time, I think you're absolutely silly to not recognize that the US dollar is the currency that we use to make all transactions on a daily basis. And when the time comes that you're facing an emergency, you're facing a need to convert some of your metals back into fiat, well, maybe if you had actually saved some fiat, you wouldn't have to worry about the process, the lack of efficiency, the loss in the spread between the price that you paid for it and the price that you're going to get back on sale, especially if you don't have time to find a private buyer who's going to pay you a better sale price. No, I think that for an emergency fund, you need cash. When the power's out for a few days and your local grocery store still can't accept credit cards, do you think that they're more likely to accept this cash or to accept this silver? That's just the reality, folks. Now, you want to know what I think is going to happen in the long term? So like a few years at this rate, the US dollar as we know it is going to become increasingly devalued. I'm not necessarily talking about hyperinflation, but there are certainly things that lead to the inflation of producer and consumer prices. Some things that I definitely think we're going to see in 2022: producer price inflation, PPI, the cost for manufacturers, for producers, the cost of food, let's say, raw products, commodities that go into processed foods. These prices that have been raised at the wholesale level, those costs are going to start being offset onto the consumer. As many small businesses really struggled during the past couple of years, there have been many businesses that have seen record profits. These big businesses aren't just going to go out of business because the cost of a raw material went up overnight. What they will do is they will start to pass on those extra costs to the consumer in the form of higher retail prices. And if they don't do that, if they want to make you think that the price is still the same, what do? They shrink the product. Shrinkflation. You will start seeing this. I have already started seeing this. So what I'm expecting to see is that the higher PPI is going to eventually result in a higher CPI, which in real world terms means that prices are going to go up because the value of the dollar is going down, which means that over time, the value of this silver and this gold is going to go up. It's really that simple. It's just a matter of time. And in my unique situation where I'm not looking to sell within the next 5 or 10 years, it doesn't really make a difference to me whether the price of silver is at $23 or at $30. In fact, in many ways, the price of silver says more about the dollar than it does about the silver. Over time, the price of silver will go up. And here's the reason why. It's valuable. It's not only valuable as a monetary metal, but it's valuable as an industrial metal. That is the part that I think gets often forgotten within the stacking community, at least on YouTube, because we're so busy collecting things like bullion coins or poured art bars. But the majority of silver sales does not go to people like us. It goes to industry. And not only that, it's specifically segments of industry that are growing and will continue to grow over time. Things like electric car batteries and solar panels and computers. Barring some major technological advancement, it's very unlikely that silver is going to stop being used by various industrial manufacturers. Another thing that's virtually certain, this is going to lose value over time. Can you imagine what $100 would have bought you 50 years ago, even when they were in a massive inflationary period back then? Ridiculous. So if I'm personally interested in securing my long-term financial future, I'm not necessarily looking to make money. I'm just looking for a good way of saving money in an environment where you don't get any interest on a savings account. Then why wouldn't I be converting my fiat into real money, into silver? That's just the way that I look at it. So unless something goes seriously awry in the United States or in the global economy, my plan will just be to continue moving forward, stacking silver, periodically buying something that, maybe carries a slightly higher premium, semi-numismatic, or something interesting that I want to share on the channel. But when it comes to steady stacking, I'm still going to be buying silver in a 1 ounce format, probably some more 10 ounce bars, and I'm definitely going to continue to stack gold and my 1/10 ounce gold pieces. And who knows, maybe I'll even pick up another Platinum Eagle for 2022. Okay, so here's the deal. I know I played around a little bit today and we had a little bit of fun, but I just wanted to keep it kind of chill and just to remind everybody that it doesn't always have to be about, is the price going up? Is the price going down? That generates a ton of clicks on YouTube. Although there's part of me that wants the views, that wants the subscriptions, that wants the attention. I don't want to play on people's fears. My name is Silver Forever, and I don't approve of any of these messages.